Okay, so that's 5 past, guys. I think we'll crack on. So today's webinar is about starting a drone business and what to expect. Doing this today to answer a lot of questions. Hopefully a lot of you guys are quite new to the industry, and this will give you a really nice overview of what to expect, what's out there for you. So yeah, I'm Jamie Cording. I've been with the company for about 18 months now. So I'm a UAV strategist for copters. I've got my PFCO. I did it on a parrot and Affy thermal last year. I was trained by Lee, one of our trainers as well. And I've been helping hundreds of people get into this industry, this exciting new industry, helping them through our course, getting into the industry, building their business, and giving honest and I'd like to say good feedback on what they're doing, whether that's their websites, coaching through sales, just business advice. And I'd like to think I do some pretty honest feedback as well, guys. So yeah, that's me. Okay, so this is what we're going to be covering today. So we have industry specifics, drone training, hardware, finding work, regulations. I have a couple of juicy little offers for you today and the Q&A. So there's going to be a lot of questions and answers during this. So the plan is get through the presentation in about half an hour and then crack on and have a really good Q&A session at the end. Okay, so may have seen this before in the past, this graph. So this is basically the drone industry, or most industries. In terms of the drone industry, where are we? We are right here in this second part of the red section. So with coronavirus, this has changed slightly. If anything, we've actually seen a spike in interest in terms of safety and inspection. When we talk about drones and using them in the industry, it's normally 3 main things. So can you use drones to save money? Can you use drones to save time? And can you use drones to make an operation safer? And that safety aspect has been huge over Corona. These strange times that you're in. We've had businesses approaching us because they don't want to put people in dangerous scenarios. We see a lot with access and inspection. There's been a lot of skeleton staff going on at the moment, so not being able to get more staff in to do the work, and they've been wanting to push and get drones in. So inspection, we'll talk about it a lot more as well, but we're seeing a bit of a spike in that at the moment. But yeah, we're in the early adopter stage. It's still very, very early doors. Not everyone's seen a drone fly. Many of people have never flown a drone, let alone see it used commercially. There are some exciting stories in the news that you hear every now and again. We see David Attenborough using it a lot for a lot of his work in terms of documentaries and film and media, but it's still very, very early doors. So yeah, this is where we are in terms of the industry. Okay, so quick poll, everyone. We should have just about everyone on now. So can you just go to, next to the questions, there is a poll section. There's 5 questions for you there. If you can just fill that out, that's going to give me a really good idea of who you are, what you're doing, and or if you have any questions, I can give you a call and I've got a really good idea about whereabouts you are on your journey as a drone pilot, as a UAV pilot, and someone wanting to get into this business. So it's just underneath, just down here, should be in the middle by the polls. So in between questions and offers, you'll be able to see the polls. So if you can just all go on there and fill that out. I can see a lot of you have already started. There's 5 questions for you there. So that's it. I can see they're all going in there now. Thank you. That's it. Thank you. If anyone's struggling to find it, it's just down here. So in between questions and offers underneath the presentation, like I say, the more of you that can fill this in, it's going to give me a really good idea about whereabouts everyone is on this webinar. And I can kind of tailor it a little bit as well, just see how everyone's getting on. Good stuff. Okay, so we've got a real mix of different industries. Thanks, Dan. That's spot on. Derek as well. That's amazing. Thank you. And like I say, when we have the questions, the Q&As at the end, if we need to go into more detail, I need to give you a call afterwards. I can go into a lot more detail and have a better understanding of whereabouts you are on this journey. Okay, good stuff. Right, that's awesome. Cheers for that, everyone. Okay. So frequently asked questions. So this is a big one in terms of calls, helping people most days, doing a lot of mentoring sessions. And these are the sort of things that are cropping up a lot at the moment. So do I have the right experience, the right kit? When are the courses? Where are the courses? What do these new regulations mean? And when do I start? It's the big ones. So again, hopefully this should clear all of the above up. In terms of people that haven't flown a drone before, so there's 25 people I can see from the polls that have 0 flight hours. That's not a problem at all. So these drones nowadays, they're so intelligent. They do all the hard work for you. So don't worry about that. A lot of people do ask, never flown a drone, don't have a drone to use, Jamie. Is this going to be a problem? No, it's not. It's not. It's not going to hold you back at all. The drones, that's the easy bit. The real push that we need to go into is starting the business. And that's what I'm here for. That's the business development side. Okay, so kit, courses, I'll go into this as we get into the webinar. So start off with the PFCO. So in terms of the course, you've got 2 options. You've either got face-to-face, which is a 2.5-day course. We've now got our online drone training course. With the whole COVID situation, we've pivoted slightly and we're now doing online courses. So this isn't just death by PowerPoint. This is all about content, all about mixing up, feeling fresh, short, sharp little snippets of text. You've got videos, you've got webinars to watch, and you've got quizzes after every module. So sticking to online, you've got 3 components when you do your PFCO. You have your theory, your operations manual, and your practical. So those first 2 components, your theory and ops manual, you'll do that remotely from home. We hold your hand through all these 3 different stages. So they can be quite nerve-wracking and confusing at times, and that's what we're here to do. So myself and most of the staff in Copters, we all have our PFCO. So we're here to help. We know exactly what you're going through and the process. So in terms of the online training for your theory, you have 8 modules to walk through. So like I said, you've got webinars to interact with. You've got videos to freshen it up. And so you're not just reading through text all the time. And then you have a quiz after every single module. In terms of the online module, the software that we use is really user-friendly. So if you stop, start, pause, take as many tea breaks as you like, that's absolutely fine. It's whatever works best for you. So personally, myself, I struggle reading and really maintaining and holding that information. So I have to read things a few times and just digesting that information. So this is really good for me. And I was one of the people that tested it. I was one of the guinea pigs. I could do module 1, go on to module 2, and then revisit module 1 again. Jump straight to the quiz and just see if I was remembering and keeping that information in. And that's the same. If you go into the industry 6 months down the line and you think, do you know what, I can't quite remember that process, you can jump back into the software and go over it again in one of the modules. So you'll do that for the first 8 modules, which are all theory. You then have a theory test. So your theory test is all 8 modules, and each have they all have 8 questions within. It's multiple choice, and you need 75% to pass. So we have a mock test. So you can go ahead and do that mock test, see what you're good at, see what you're bad at, and then you can jump back into the online modules and say, do you know what, I wasn't that good on air law, so I'm going to go back through that module 1 and just scrub up my knowledge a little bit better. Human factors, that's absolutely fine. So we can ship that to a side. I know that. And then you can go ahead and book yourself in for the theory. Your operations manual, there are a few modules on that, but we have a workshop for the ops manual. So this can be quite daunting, but we give you a template with examples in. You just delete the examples, put in your own data, and then send it to our review team. Our review team will put it through our workshop and see what changes that you need to make. We'll send it back to you. You make those amendments. maybe update it as you're going through the course, and then send it back to us. And we just repeat this process again and again and again until we give you sign off. So yeah, we really do hold your hand through the ops manual process because it can be tricky. I can see a couple of questions in the chat. How long does the online course take? So this is a common one as well. It's how long's a piece of string. It's completely down to you. So for example, one of our BDMs, Sam, actually needed to do his PFCO course again. So he needed to do his theory and his practical. He did it in 2 days. So Monday he did theory, Tuesday he did practical. So if you want to crack on and do it, you can do it. Obviously, working at Copters, he could kind of shuffle when he could do the flight assessment. But in terms of going ahead and doing it, it's all about how you learn best. We have quite a lot of hobbyists that are doing the course just so they know that they can do it safely and fly safely in the industry. They're taking over a month to do it, but that's not a problem. There's no time limit. There's no restraint. It's all about how you learn and how you train best. So take full advantage. If you want to rush through, if you've got a job on the horizon, crack on and go for it. If you're in no rush, let's become a master in what we're doing and do it to the best of our ability. So in terms of training, you've got your theory and your ops manual. Once you've completed these two components online, you then book yourself in for the practical. So the practical assessment is the only bit of flying you do on the course. So this is an hour to an hour and a half slot. You've got 3 modules online where you'll go through best practice, safe setup, and flight planning. This is setting you up ready for your practical assessment. You'll come to one of our 11 locations in the UK. And then what you're looking at is basically half an hour of batteries worth of flying. You need to set up safely, go through that best practice. You'll have a chat with our instructor, and then off you go. In terms of the course, I like to refer to it as very similar to your driving test. So you've got your theory, which is multiple choice, and then you've got your practical. So your practical, you've got minors and majors. So if you crash your drone, that's a major, for example. When I did my practical exam, I did it in Leeds. So we do it on a sheep farm. Set up safely, went through, answered all the questions Johnny, one of our trainers, was asking, and a sheep wandered into my landing zone. Not ideal. Thought it was very obvious because there was a big sheep there in the middle of the cones. What I should have done is mention to Johnny that I was going to land in my secondary landing area if I needed to land abruptly. So let him know, didn't say anything, and I got a minor for that. I thought it was very obvious, but it's one of those things. When you're doing your practical assessment, it's all about safety and composure. So we're not in the industry of drone racing. We're not doing backflips, not doing kamikaze somersaults. This is all about control. So there's no rush. We have maneuvers for you to work through. And again, we'll give you these when you start and you sign on with Copters. We'll give you a list of 8 or 9 different maneuvers to practice, and we can help you through all of these. But in terms of doing the practical assessment, you're looking at an hour of your time. But yeah, it's very straightforward. And our industry experts are here to help you get through that as well. So it's not there to stress you out. We just need to see that you're safe to fly. So I can see there's been quite a bit of a chat going on during that. So any questions, like I say, guys, get them in the question scenario. The face-to-face training, very, very similar, but it's just in 2.5 days. So it looks like our course is going to be up and running now starting from the end of this month. So we've got one in Leeds on the 29th of the month. So it's Wednesday to Friday, 2.5 days. First 2 days your theory, final days your practical. So the difference of doing it face-to-face is that basically as soon as you book on, we're going to send you all of the topics that we're going to be working on, the maneuvers for you to start practicing with your drone, and then also that operations manual. We ask for a first draft of that ops manual before you start the course, and that's going to put you in a really nice headspace before you get started as well. Okay, so you can see that's the first offer of today. So 20% off. If you have a little look at that, using the code Jamie20. So take full advantage of that as well. So moving on, we've got Ryan here. Helped Ryan get into the industry maybe 14 months ago now. So he came to one of our business seminars actually. Really nice chap, came out of college and wanted to basically just get into this new and exciting industry. So he did it step by step. He ended up going for the same drone as me, so a para and Affy thermal. He's been working with football clubs for doing like analysis. He's ventured into different areas, seeing what he likes, seeing what he doesn't like as well. And that's what this industry is about, because it is so new, it's so raw. You can kind of test and have a little go at things. And if it's not quite right for you, you can back up and go into a different industry. But yeah, we've got some really, really nice feedback from right in there. Okay, so business starter packages. A lot of people think these are courses, and they're basically a bundle. Jimmy, just a quick one, the 20% code, it applies to the PFCO, I believe that one does. That one is for the UAV surveying course. So I'll be getting to that very, very shortly. So the business starter package, this is basically a drone plus a course plus extra value, or CPD. So this might mean extra batteries, like a fly more kit for a DJI Maverick, let's say. It might be a smart controller, or it might be some CPD training in your industry. Business starter packages, we have 3 that we run by out of popularity. So these are what we've seen a lot of people go for. So all 3 of these drones that come in the business starter packages allow you to say yes to most jobs. Getting into the industry, it's all about taking advantage of what you can. I've mentioned it already, seeing what you like and what you don't like. And all 3 drones will allow you to do most jobs. Entry level, and it's so you don't have to invest too much, and you can get that return on investment back as soon as possible. So we can move on to intermediate level drones. So business start packages, we have 3 at the moment. So you've got one with the Mavic 2 Pro, you've got one with the Parrot and Affy thermal, the drone that I have, and then finally you've got the ultimate business start package, which is the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual Thermal. So business start packages, training at the moment with the off-qual 4 level accreditation, the drone, and then the CPD and extra value for yourself. Yeah, Andy Grayson, that's absolutely spot on. CPD, perfect. I can see the questions coming in thick and fast now, so that's perfect. I would like to say I'll be getting to these at the end. Just as soon as a question pops up, guys, get them in there. Try not to use the chat as much as possible, just so I don't miss anything. But Haley and some of the guys are on hand as well, if you do anything. So yeah, just a bit of a report here from the industry and the use of drones. Ben, that's awesome. Thank you for that one, mate, as well. So you can see surveying is massive at the moment. Inspection, I'm really, really interested to see some new figures for the industry on what it is. We're expecting something out soon. But I think there's going to be a huge, huge spike in inspection, just because when we've got some really bad weather, which has been going on. And you can just jump out and do a really quick inspection using drones at the moment. So I've helped out roofers in the past when I've had a leak in the guttering, just quickly popped up the drone, have a little look and just see where the problem is. And you can do exactly the same when you're out there. So film and photography, that is forever going to be one of the pillars of this industry. And you can understand why. It's obviously very, very visual. And that's what you get from film and photography. So it is essentially a different angle to use a camera. Mapping and observation, data collection is huge. It's really starting to make tracks now as well in the industry. We're seeing more and more inquiries and job opportunities pop up for this one. And in terms of job opportunities, inspection seems to be doing a lot for advertising work for in-house roles as well. Transport, we've all heard about Amazon and the future of transporting from drones. I don't know if you saw in the news recently, but transportation of vaccinations, I think it's to Isle of Man or Isle of Wight, using drones as well. So we are making tracks, and it's an exciting industry to be in, because all sorts of new things are making themselves very, very aware. So yeah, you saw the second offer just pop up then as well. So essentially that Jamie 20 is applied to the UAV course, which is brand new, and also the PFCO. So you can't use that with the Fairlow discount as well, but essentially just brings it to the same. So it's 499 excluding VAT. So essentially it's 599 with that offer. Okay, so you got hardware. Let's have a look at this. So a lot of time people come to us and they have an idea of what they want to get into, and they just say, I want a Maverick 2 Pro. Great drone, amazing at what it does, but we need to find what the best drone is for what industry you're going into. Obviously, budget comes into this, how much you have to spend, are massive factors, but there's always options. So by coming through Copters, and we can give you a bit of a mentoring, business advice. We've got specialists in all of our different areas. So if it is inspection, George is your man. If it's surveying, we've got James Pick, who is industry leading in what he does, and then we've also got Sam, who is more our surveying guru. And then when it's business development, myself, Steve, our CEO, and we're here to help you get into the industry and do it properly with the correct kit. So I mentioned surveying there, the Phantom 4 RTK, and DJI absolutely rave about this drone. We recently sat on the brand new DJI Matrice 300 webinar with DJI themselves, and they still said that the Phantom 4 RTK is the drone to use if you are surveying. This is an affordable drone. You can get add-ons to this to make the data even more precise as well, but this is where you want to be looking. If it is inspection, a good entry-level drone is the Maverick 2 Enterprise Dual. You've got the thermal side, you've got the RGB, and you can overlap those two sensors to create more texture and more detail in the images that you're finding. Off the back of that, if you can't afford a Maverick 2 Enterprise Dual, a Parrot and AFI thermal, that's a good option. You've got the Parrot USA as well. So that's an almost brand new drone. Got an amazing zoom on it as well. So you don't have to fly as close to the object as what you would with other drones. You can stay a safe limit away. We've seen quite a few inquiries recently about agriculture and a lot of farming. So off the back of the surveying, very similar again to the Phantom 4 multispectral drone. So it's 6 different wavelengths, and bringing you loads of really precise data on what the vegetation is saying, what level of photosynthesis the ground is, and the actual stock is. How wet areas of the land, are you overfeeding it or underfeeding it? Are you overspraying or underspraying, etc.? We've seen a lot of universities use this drone as well, and the data they're capturing is just generally so interesting. So yeah, get in touch if you've got any more questions about any of these drones. So I mentioned earlier about David Attenborough using his drones. I don't mean him flying, but essentially all of the documentaries that they use now is the Inspire. And if you watch the last 15 minutes of the program where they go into how they made the film or on location, you'll often see an Inspire 2 lift off and go find the animal, for example. So yeah, in terms of media, it's industry leading. It's an absolute smashing drone. Okay, so this is our brand new course. So it's the commercial UAV surveying course. So a good friend of COPS, James Dunthorpe, has been putting this together for us and with us. But essentially, this course is aimed for drone service providers, professionals in this industry that are either already in these different markets or looking to expand their knowledge. So surveying, civil engineering, construction, using the terminology, understanding the terminology, the data, and just helping you get into that industry. So someone's asked the question already, I think, in terms of getting into an industry like surveying, do you have to have that knowledge? No, on paper, you don't need to have that knowledge, but any training that you do is only going to help. So we talk about CPD a lot. Anything that you can do to help your CV, your work, do it. Take full advantage of it. We've got the offer on, so the 20% does apply to this course. This is going to be part of the Copters Academy, so you can do this online, do it in your own time. I think a few of you have actually already booked on this already. But yeah, it's an amazing course. We've had a quick flick through already. But yeah, this is going to really help you bridge the gap of understanding the processes. And it's a pivot away from the Pix 4D, whereas that is more about understanding the processes and the software, whereas this is understanding surveying. Like I say, if you want to know more information, I've got my email on this later. We can go and have a more in detailed chat about this. There's also links to that on the website as well. Okay, so we've got our business starter packages. So I mentioned these before on what they include, what they do. Essentially, when it comes down to our business starter packages, you have the drone, which you can see at the top, drone and accessories. So for example, the top one, you've got the Parrot and Affy thermal. So you've got the RGB camera. So it's 4K recording. All three of these are 4K recording. It's 21 megapixels, the Parrot, which often gets overlooked. You've got 3x zoom. So this is the only option of the three that has the zoom. Comes with your 3 batteries. All three come with 3 batteries, smart controller. You'll get the PFCO, the off-call level 4 accreditation. The PFCO will transfer over into the new GBC laws. So that will now become a operational authorization, which is just a fancy way of saying GBC. In terms of the other bundles, like you've got the Maverick 2 Pro, awesome drone, super versatile. And then finally, for the ultimate business starter package, you've got the Maverick 2 Enterprise Dual. So this is the one with the thermal and the RGB camera, so you can overlook those and find the extra texture as well. So the ultimate business starter package comes in a hard case. You get 3 attachments with that as well. So you get the beacon, spotlight, and the speaker as well. All 3 are super strong. For example, the beacon now comes with, when you get like the DJI Matrice or M300, these just come with it anyway now. This is really good for you to see the drone when it's further away, or for other people to see the drone as well. So it's a really good safety feature, that one as well. So yeah, in terms of the business starter packages, all there, really good opportunities for you to say yes to work, essentially. That's what they're there for. And as mentioned, we can strip these down to suit you, or we can build these up through a chat with myself or any of the team. It's all about making it personal and what's going to be right for you. With all 3 of these, we're going to do the surveying course half price as well. So this offer is going to last until Friday. If you've got any questions, give us a shout. We may be able to extend it, but I haven't had that guaranteed yet as well. Okay, so going on to my top tips. Rick Bower, really good question. Get it in the question area. I'll go over that because it's a top question. I will be touching on this in a second. Magnus, it is Jamie 20, all capitals. Okay, so my top tips. So we can go into this in a hell of a lot more detail. So again, like I say, my email will be posted on this webinar very soon. So if you do have any more questions or you want a chat or a one-to-one, we can go into this in more detail. Okay, so my top tips. So number 1, you need to create a business page for Instagram and for Facebook and post at least once a day. We're in a visual industry and you need to make noise and let people know that you're there. Instagram is a great way to connect, make a network and link with people in your industry and help you get work, essentially. Let people know what amazing hardware you're using. Let people see what amazing data and pictures, films, stills that you're capturing with your drones. This is a fun industry to be in. So you need to show and let people see that. Instagram is a really good platform. It's very simple. People spend hours on it. So you should be there. Okay, so number 2, you need a website, but is it up to date? Similar to Instagram, you need to be updating this weekly. You can have a link from your Instagram to your website, your Facebook to your website. And this is all just to get traffic going through. So many people have a website, but nothing goes there. So it's quite a funny one. I'll look at a lot of people's websites and say, do you know what, that's good actually, but how are people getting there? Do they know that you're there? Is it just from a card? Is it just from you saying your website, or can people just find their way there? So it's all about channeling traffic into your different websites. And so keep it simple. Don't use crazy italics or crazy fonts. It needs to be simple, easy to read, and just let people know what service you're offering. Keep it simple in terms of designs and themes as well. So just to list three, you've got Wix, WordPress, Whitespace. I like to use WordPress. So I used it for my degree, and I found it was quite easy to use. And a lot of the themes are already there ready for you. It was just a case of changing the content and keeping it fresh. So yeah, again, if you need more help when it comes to building your website, we've got an amazing marketing team. It might just be a 10-minute call with them to give you a bit of an idea and to help you get more traffic to your website and more business, essentially. Okay, so number three is probably my favorite one, and it's to quote the Wolf of Wall Street film: pick up the phone and start dialing. It's a simple one, but so many people are getting into the industry and say, oh, Jamie, I just started it a year ago and it's not really taken off. Whose fault is that? Work is there, it's raw, there's opportunities everywhere, but they're not all going to fall in your lap. We're building a business at the end of the day. And this is what I said at the start of the webinar. This is all about starting a business, putting effort into what you're doing and earning money, essentially. Drones are the easy bit, they're the fun bit, but the hard bit is where you need to get on the phone, talking to people, networking, and bringing in sales. You need to be selling your service. This is something you're going to be passionate about, something that you care about, enjoy doing. We don't want Mondays to feel like Mondays anymore. So get yourself talking to people. You're not always going to get a yes on the other end of the phone, but it's just a case of getting on the phone and talking. If you have an idea, call 10 people that's similar in that industry. So for example, last week, a window salesman came to my house. I do need new windows, so fair one. I was up for a chat. But halfway through, I got bored. And I was then thinking, do you know what? If I had my drone, I could take a thermal image of my house and I could show a client how much heat they're losing from my thermal drone. What an amazing way to show them firsthand of how much heat they're losing and how much money I could save them with my drone. And it's the saving money part of the industry we're looking at now. By using my drone, and that would take 2 minutes of flying. That wouldn't be a long flight. That would just be to show them how much money they're losing. So I had that idea and I thought, you know what? Call 10 people, 10 different window companies. Have they thought about doing this? So have that thought. All these ideas will come through, and it's just about, okay, I'm going to call 10 people. Make a minimum every single day. Pick up the phone and start dialing. It really is that simple. People are afraid to speak to people, and I get that. I've been there, but you just need to get over it. And this is a business at the end of the day. Okay, so number 4, first win. It's exciting times. We're doing this to make money, but the first win doesn't have to be for money, especially while you're just building XP. So experience. Get out there and get testimonials. Get friends and family to ask you to do jobs for them. This is going to build up your portfolio. This is building experience, building confidence around buildings or whatever role that might be doing, and get it on your website, get it on your Instagram. So this is also, you can show your future clients about how amazing this industry is and how much money you can save them, how much time you can save them, how much safer you can make their processes. So people are fixated on earning money, earning mega money, and we want to do that. We want you to do that. But to get started, it doesn't have to be all about money. Play smart, box clever, and use first wins for testimonials, case studies, and really nice reviews, because reviews go everywhere. Okay, so the final top tip is get out and flying. So it's a classic 10,000 hour rule. The more you do, the better you are, the more confident you are. And it's all about when you're doing a job and you're oozing confidence, you can't beat it. You're going to enjoy it. It's all about that Monday amazing feeling. If you're enjoying what you're doing, do it to the best of your ability. Get out. If it's good weather, go charge up the batteries and do an hour's worth of flying. The more you do, the better you are. And that's with musical instruments, sports, hobbies. The more you do, the better you are. Let people see your amazing skills with a drone. Yes, drones are easy to fly, but if you've got amazing skills on top of that, this is going to add all to like things like word of mouth. This is exciting industry. So when you're working with a client and they see the drone actually fly, one, that's going to get them excited. But two, if they're saying, "Oh, this guy was amazing. He was flying so gracefully, and the data he captured, he's going to get a little buzz off you and your drone." So you need to take full advantage. So get outside and fly. We have too many people turning up to our flight assessments that have got 3, 4, 5 hours. Get 10, get 20 in. So flying is massive. Before a football game, you go to training. Before cricket, you go to training. You go bowling. It's all about getting outside and practicing your flying abilities. If you guys want any more mentoring or business advice, these are 5 of very, very many. We can go into these a lot deeper, and I can give you tasks to do every single week. So again, we're going to go into some mentoring slots a little bit later on. Get my email down and let me know when and what you're interested in. Okay, so kind of getting on for time. I reckon we'll be done for about 1/4 past, guys. So regulations is a big one at the moment. Lots and lots of questions surrounding it. So what does it mean to me getting into the industry? Should I wait until the new regulations start? Is it because of Brexit? Is it a classic one? Will I have to sit the course again? How much does it cost? So for anyone getting in the industry, now is a good time to do it. Copters have been pushing people to do the PFCO this side of the changes since 2019. So first it was supposed to be July, then it got pushed back to November. Now it's been pushed back to the end of December. So essentially we're looking at 2021. For anyone who's been waiting since I think it was November 2019, they've been waiting a long time to get into the industry. The main reason for the pushback is COVID, of course it is, but also they didn't release all of the information about the new courses. So it was a bit of a tricky one for us to get ready for that. Once again, I'm just going to say, just go for it. Just do it now. We've got a lot of time on our hands. With the course being online, you can do it in your own time. If you're still working, if you're furlough, you've got the furlough discount. I've got the 20% discount on today's webinar. Take advantage and just go for it now. So the new rules are essentially going to be broken down into 3 different sections. So you've got open, specific, and specialized. So we're looking at the first 2 sections. So you've got the A2 CFC, and the second section is the GVC. The PFCO, the current rules, the current license, is basically turning into the operational authorization, and that will happen in the new year. So for anyone who has a PFCO now or is looking to renew it, just do so. And then when the new rules come in, you don't have to do anything extra. You don't have to pay anything extra. You don't have to do any extra training. I recommend you do extra training and boffing up on the new rules, because it's only going to help you. But generally, everyone knows what the PFCO is. When you're looking for work and you're looking for new clients and customers, they know what a PFCO is. If you start talking gibberish about all these different letters and weight categories and risk values, that's going to confuse them. Everyone knows what a PFCO is. So get it in now. When you're looking for work in the future and you say, "Oh, it was a PFCO, now I've got this," they're going to get it. They're going to completely understand it. And so by having a PFCO, that's really going to help you. Like I say, the A2 CFC, that's going to be lower. So you're looking more at your Maverick Mini, Maverick Air, whereas the larger stuff, your Matrice, Inspires, you're looking at the heavier stuff, because it's weight categories, risk, and safety. And that's what we're looking at. So you might be doing let's say you've got a smaller drone, but it's a high risk flying job that you're doing, you still want to be looking at the GVC section. And the PSCO is just going to transfer into that. So by doing the course now, our course is normally, when it's face-to-face, £829. So that's more expensive than the GVC and what it will be. But at the moment, with it being online, it's a lot cheaper. So it's £718. With the offer today, it's £599. And that's very, very similar to what the GVC price is going to be. So the theory is going to be easier for you to train now. The practical is going to be easier for you to train now. Everyone knows what the PFCO is now. Why not start now? Okay, so hopefully that should answer most of your questions. The new rules are confusing. I'm pretty sure it's turned our head of training grey in the process because it is confusing. If you have any more questions, either get them in the questions aisle, questions section, or we can go into more detail with a call at another time. Okay, so yep, you've all seen that now. So the course is aimed at drone service providers wanting to get into surveying, civil engineering, groundworks, construction. It's for that knowledge, and there's 20% off, and that's until tomorrow. If you can't do it tomorrow, but you're interested, again, drop me an email. I'll see what I can do. I've not had it confirmed yet, but yeah, I'll see what I can do. And again, you've got your business starter packages there, all three options. When you get any of the three, you'll get a half price surveying course as well. Our business starter packages now have Steve Coulson's new book, So Big Thinking for Small Businesses. So Steve has spent thousands of pounds on business mentoring for himself. And what he's done is just relayed that information in the book. So I really do recommend. It's not a long read, but there's a hell of a lot of information in there. Steve was doing mentors last year for people like yourselves on this webinar. And that was costing a lot of money. Take advantage of these business starter package, or even just download the book. It's a really good first step, and it'll help you as a businessman. Okay, so what's next? So as you can see here, get in touch with the Copters team. We have loads of different different areas where we specialize in. If it's inspection, surveying, security, you name it, media, give us a shout. My email's there, so get it down if you don't already, if you want to chat. But I will be doing these one-to-one sessions. So we're looking at about 15 minutes to half an hour. Ideally 10 places, but if there's a lot of interest, I'm happy to do more. We'll have a set time, we'll have a Zoom meeting or Teams, whatever you want. And we'll really dive into your business plan and what the next steps are. So yeah, for anyone who doesn't, get my email down. Any questions, give me a shout. Right, okay, so let's go into the Q&A. So I can see I've got 41 questions, which is fantastic. Thank you everyone who has put a question in there. If you haven't already, get your questions in. I'm gonna fly through these. We've still got a bit of time. Yeah, and if you haven't already, use the polls. Give me a really nice idea of whereabouts everyone is. And if we do have one of these one-to-one sessions, it just means I know exactly where you are in your journey of becoming a UAV pilot. Right then, let's do this. Okay, so Tim B's first question, I think I mentioned it earlier. Do you need to be a qualified surveyor to undertake drone surveys? No, essentially you are going to be the tool to the surveyor. They're going to give you the brief. They're going to let you know what data they want to capture. You just need to go out and do it. Just like a hammer is to a joiner, you are going to be the drone to the surveyor. This is all about you capturing that data for them, saving them time, saving them money at the end of the day. So it's not more of a safety option for the surveying industry. It's all about time and data. Okay, so Glenn Simpson, question about drone. It's a good question. So it's a classic Mavic versus Phantom. So Mavic is a really, really quick drone, really nippy, and it's actually a lot heavier than what people think it is. The Phantoms, because they do have that lower weight, their center of gravity is it locks them in more. But because the Mavic 2 Pro have larger propellers and they have that weight that I mentioned, they do stick really, really nicely. So, for example, the Mavic 2 Pro is predominantly made for cinematography. So it needs to have a really smooth gimbal so that even when it does get a bit gusty, it's going to stay exactly still. So it's normally a case of preference. At Copters, we do prefer the Mavics, especially if it is more media work. If it's a certain industry, Glenn, I would recommend giving us a chat and we can have a closer look at what exactly you're going to be using them for. But off the back of it, I would say the Mavic 2 Pro to start with, and then looking at our business starter package for that. Okay, so Nick, just looking at support is available for quick repair and maintenance of drones when you use professional purposes. So in terms of drones, you've got a few options. If it's an enterprise drone, you've got Enterprise Shield. So that's a really good way to cover your drone. Just means if you do anything down to human error instead of software, because you'll have warranty anyway, and that will cover yourself. Enterprise Shield is a great way to cover yourself if you do something wrong. If you put it in the water, if you crash it into a tree, let's say, it means you can buy that second model for a lot cheaper, and then the same again for the third. It also means you can get a drone out to you really, really quickly instead of just going and buying a brand new one. It will still be brand new, and having to pay the full price. So Enterprise Shield, definitely look that up. If it's more for the smaller commercial side, there is Carefresh for DJI. You're normally looking at around £100. And again, this is exactly the same. It's all about human error. If something goes wrong there, it just means that you're covered and you can get a brand new drone sent out ASAP. So really good point actually, Nick, raises is this will give your customers a really good peace of mind. If you have a backup drone, this is the ideal situation. But generally, if you have Enterprise Shield or you have Carefresh, going into a job with a customer, you can let them know this. So just like having insurance, this is a backup. If your drone isn't working on the day or leading up to it, it just means that you're going to have a backup drone regardless. So yeah, really good point there, Nick. Thank you. Tom Martin, I think there's been quite a few different questions, a bit of a chat going on with this one in terms of insurance. As soon as you start with Copters, we recommend two different providers. So we've got CoverDrone or we've got Moonrock. I believe we use Moonrock. We do a lot of flying ourselves at Copters. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's those two. But Tom, when we get going and you do start the PFCO, we recommend all the above anyway. So you'll get a welcome pack, which will just let you know everything that you need to do. Okay, so Mark Pardew, it's a two-man team. What do you charge for the cameraman? Look, it's all about getting into the industry and seeing what works best for you. What quality are you bringing in? Are you doing the full job, or is it just the drone work and the cameraman work? Is that going to be for the ground, the sky? Have you got any camera wires that are set up as well? Are you doing the full job, or is it just the drone? So in terms of pricing, it's quite a vague question. But generally, rule of thumb is kind of like 2/3 of what the drone operator will be doing. But if you can give me a more specific scenario, Mark, maybe drop me an email and I can go into more detail with you on that one. Drop me an email, Mark, and we can go on that one. Okay, so Ben Payne. Okay, Ben, good question. So do you think each drone sector business niche will be equally successful? So yeah, there are going to be more areas that are more saturated. So for example, media, there are obviously a lot of people wanting to go into this, take pictures, kind of landscapes, that sort of thing. There's always going to be more people doing that. And cheaper drones essentially are just an RGB camera. So your film of photography is going to fill up quicker, especially at the lower end of the business pyramid. In terms of different sectors, they're all going to be different. So yes, they are going to be affected differently. For example, I mentioned the inspection. We've had a huge spike of interest and job opportunities off the back of COVID, just because of safety thing. So yeah, 100%. Ian, not a problem. Thank you very much. But yeah, Ben, there's in terms of going ahead and jumping across being oversaturated. If you get a good drone, you're going to leapfrog these people. If you get good training, you're going to leapfrog these people. And you need to differentiate yourself and make yourself stand out. So again, I revert back to getting outside and flying. The better your skills are, the better you are. So just keep doing it. Okay, so Neil, is there a range limit to what can be classed as line of sight flying? At the moment, it's the 400 meters. With the new regulations, you are going to be able to do some BV loss flying. So I would check out our blog because we've got more information on this, the new regulations. But yeah, essentially at the moment, 400 meters. But just keep it safe at the end of the day. What we're doing, the drones are dangerous. So just keep it safe the best you can. Okay, Juan Suarez, yes, this will be sent out. It'll be a YouTube link that you'll get sent after this. Okay. Derek, in terms of procurement, there's loads of different aspects and routes you can go down. Again, I think it depends on the company. It depends on what industry you're going into. There are some tricks of the trade that you can look at. I'd probably say drop me an email and I can walk you through some of the different options that we have. But a lot of the time, the actual the company will specify what they want from you anyway. So it's another situation where just pick up the phone and talk to them, ask what they want. So we do a lot of that from our side with copters. And a lot of the time we'll just call them and see what exactly it is that they want. Okay, Darren Arnold, if you're doing face-to-face, will I still be able to access the online content? That's an amazing question, really, really good. If I'm being honest, I don't know the answer to that, but I'd like to say yes, because the face-to-face course is more expensive. But if you do the PFCO, I can't see why not. If that's what you're interested in, Darren, drop me an email. I'll soon get back to you on this one. But yeah, great question. You've caught me out there. Okay, Tom. So yeah, if you've got your PPL, that basically means you don't have to do your theory test. So I always recommend people do the mock test anyway. And in terms of pilots, you guys normally do get the best scores in terms of the theory test. But it's always good to know what everyone else has had to do for the course. So I do always ask people to do it anyway. It's not going to make it any cheaper for you. I would just do it anyway. You've got the mock test, so you can do that. But yeah, it's completely down to you. You've got the option. Okay, so Phil is asking, what is the approximate minimum spend to get set up with a basic drone operation? Yeah, cracking question. Depends on the industry, depends on what your business plan is. A good place to start is about £3,000 to get a really good setup. Ideally, okay, Phil, TV. Yeah, so £3,000 is good. You want to be pushing for, I'd say, start with the Mavic 2 Pro if you got the option. I'd be pushing to an Inspire 2 with an X5S camera. That's where you want to be aiming. That's intermediate level. You're looking at about £5 or £6 grand now. With the training, with it being online, we can make that a lot cheaper. So yeah, generally, what I've done with in the past is for people wanting to get into film and TV is start with the Mavic 2 Pro, gain experience, really, really easy to pass the flight assessment with the Mavic 2 Pro. Get out into the industry, get that return on investment, come back to us. We'll sort you out a Inspire 2 bundle Then you go out, get that return on investment. Then you come back and get like an X7 camera, which is what they use on, again, the David Attenborough documentaries. That's the sort of standard. You can also use that camera for things like inspection and surveying as well because of the quality of it. But generally, that's where you want to be aiming, and that's kind of the route that you'll take for that one. But yeah, Phil, if you've got any more questions or you want some more details on that, drop me a message on my email. Not a problem, mate. Ben Murphy, is PSCO still renewable after the 31st of December? If you can do it beforehand, because you do have a chunk of time, it's like a 3 or 4 month period, I would say get it done before then. The CAA are giving you a bit of time either side to make it easier for you. But I'd say if you could do it beforehand, Ben, that'll make it a lot easier for you. What will happen is you'll transfer into that new regulations anyway. But yeah, if you do it beforehand, that'll make your life easier. Okay, so how often do we need to do this training? Lyle St. John, can you just elaborate on that question for me? And then I'll come back to you, Lyle, if you're still here. Okay, so Ian, I think Ian's already left, but in terms of the benefits long-term for doing the PSCO, I've gone over it already. I really do recommend that you do the course now because everyone knows what the PSCO is, and that is such a strong thing. People do get really confused with change and they don't like it, they kick up a fuss, and we can see that if you go on a Facebook chat in terms of the new regulations, you'll see people don't like them, they don't like change. For example, in November, the amount of noise and disruption about a £9 test was huge. So if you can avoid that, again, and just do the PSCO now, that will really, really help you going forward. So your employers, clients, customers, they'll know more about a PSCO and the drone license rather than GVC, A2CFC. Not that I'm discrediting where we're going, because it's all about safety, risk management, and weight, which will help and it will make it better. Okay, how am I doing? Okay, so I'll get through a few more of these guys and then we'll call it a day. I think I'll aim for about 10 past and then we should be about done. Okay, so Leandro, so how many hours, flight hours, do we need to be considered a skilled pilot? It really depends on the person. So, for example, before I did my flight test, I knew I was about ready for the practical side after about 3 hours flying. I still got in a lot more hours before I did the test, but I knew that I can pick up the practical side a lot better than others. If you can get to like landmark hour time, airtime, get it on your CV. If you've got 50 hours, 100 hours, 150 hours, let people know about this. A little bit like if anyone does parkrun, you get the t-shirt for every landmark that you get to. Let people know what yours is. It's a great way to differentiate yourself. But if you can show how good you are at flying, let them see it. Let them see it. That doesn't mean show off. That doesn't mean put people at risk, but just get yourself out there and show your skills off, essentially. Okay, so Ben Marion just asked about the off-call level 4. So what is it, essentially? Off-call level 4, off-call is an examining body. So when you send off your ops manual to the CAA, we send off your results to off-call, and then they sign it off. Basically, the syllabus for off-call level 4 is written into our PFCO. So this is something that we've bundled in. Normally, we charge an extra £150 excluding VAT for the off-call level 4. With it being online, we've bundled that in as part of a package deal to give you more value. So what this means is our course is at a level 4 standard. Level 4 is the equivalent of a HNC, a HND, or first year of university. So that's the standard of a level 4 course, and we're teaching at a level 4 course. This means that our course is harder. We've had that feedback, but that's something that we're proud of. We would prefer our course to be too hard than too easy, because at the end of the day, when you're in the industry, you're representing us, and we need to know that you're working at a level that is safe to be in the industry. So off the back of that, you then have the off-qual level 5 course for chief pilots. So this is the next step up. So level 5 is like the second year of university. So it is a tough course. We get all of our experts, flight instructors, to do this course before they start teaching the PSO, just so, again, we know that they're teaching at a standard. Derek, good question. So what about DJI and the issues relating to Chinese tech? Yep. So in terms of copters, we're not just about DJI. So we are resellers of lots of different partners for lots of different reasons. But essentially, if we work with them, it's because we know they're a very good commercial standard. And if we don't work with them, there's normally a reason for that as well. So we're the experts for a reason. So Derek, DJI, Parrot, Flyability, LiDAR USA, Wingtra, these are the guys that we work with because we know that their drones are a very, very high standard. So if you do have any problems, maybe it's a Parrot. On paper, Parrot have amazing specs, but they often get overlooked. So I'd recommend, if you do have any questions about tech, give us a shout. We can go into more detail about other options. Okay, so Joel, what license do you need for city flying? So you need your PSCO at the end of the day. And then after that, you might want OSCs, so operational safety cases. And you probably want to do our off-qual level 5 course because we go into OSCs a lot, human factors, safety and regulation, because it's essentially congested areas. And it's a lot of buildings that are out of your control. It's doable. There are just a lot of hoops that you have to get through. Okay, so Ben Payne asking about the thermal course. Does it also come with the UAV course content? Yes, it will. All of our courses cross over slightly. And when you're doing the course, you're going to be with our industry experts anyway, so we can give you that feedback. But they are slightly different for that reason. So the thermography course is more about getting the best out of your thermal camera, understanding different materials and how the sensors react differently to those with the different settings that you can have. So yeah, it's slightly different, but the UAV course is very standalone. It's very different now. And Julie, great question. Do you see women in this industry often? What are your thoughts on females in this drone industry? In terms of capabilities and employment, if I'm being honest, no, there's not a lot of women in this industry. It's very male dominant, but that doesn't change anything. I've worked with a hell of a lot of really, really high standard women in this industry across all construction, inspection, mainly media. But no, that doesn't mean, it's not a reason to hold you back. If anything, that's going to make you stand out. So definitely use that to your advantage. Philip Dagman, what percentage of survey work requires thermal imaging? Very little if it's surveying. It's quite hard, especially to get 3D images of thermal work. So for that reason, it's a lot of data and a lot of rendering. Internally, you might get quite a lot of thermal work. Percentage-wise, it's going to be lower. I'd say sub 30%, but that's just me plucking numbers out of the air, really. In terms of inspection, thermal's huge, and it's always good to have that in the background. Okay, Dave, I think that question's already been answered. That's great. How are we doing, guys? What we got? So I've got a few more questions that have just popped up, so I'm going to fly through these as quick as I can. I hope this isn't boring everyone. We'll soon be done. Okay, thanks for that, Tom. I needed that. Thank you. Well, feel free, guys. If you do have any questions, do get them in. I'm happy to answer them all now. Okay. Okay, so Steve, sorry if I pronounced this wrong, Steve Sister. So what's the return on investment on a copters package? Say I spend 2,500 on a drone package, how many jobs might it take to pay that back? I was having a chat with a chap this afternoon who's looking at getting a job to be paid for £1,000 for some work in Brighton. And that is just some monitoring shots and then also for marketing. And that was going to be a day's work. So if you connect with the right people, you get a network in place and you can show people that you've got a high standard of work, that could be 3 jobs. You do have your application to the CAA, which is £253. So that's for the application. Then every year it's £118. So there are things to take in, but essentially there's not many hidden features at all. So ideally, for example, we have quite a lot of people, students that are film industries, film studies, media, and they all do the course at the end of semester 3. We want them to get that return on investment for what they've spent on the course before they go back to semester 1 in September. So that's the sort of timeline we want you to be pushing. Whilst you're going through the PFCO course, you can get the business up and running, get it rolling, get some clients in, get networking, get talking to people. Essentially, it's all down to you. Jobs to begin with might not be £1,000. There might be a few hundred, but you need to value the standard of your work and then build up. As your confidence, as your qualities, your skills grow, you're only putting more and more zeros on the end of what you're working. So ideally, the plan is you get a business starter package, then you get that return on investment, then you jump to an intermediate package, you get that return on investment, you become, you get a larger territory, better standard of work, better data, a larger network, and then we just keep going from there. Okay. Would you suggest a dedicated drone business website, or would you add in a section or member website? Okay, so yeah, multidisciplined people. I get this question quite a lot, actually, Tom. Yeah, quite a few questions from you, Tom. Okay, so yeah, this is really good. Every Thursday, I call the CAA list, and I basically just have a chat with people that are already in the industry. And a really, really good technique is, instead of having one website and just offering everything, have a few different sister websites, have a main website. And again, it's all about that traffic and getting people to see that you're there, make some noise. So get yourself to the top of as many Google lists as you can. But if you've got different disciplines, if you're doing, let's say you're doing wedding photography, then you're also doing landscape photography, you're also doing surveying and inspection, you might want to have a few different websites, but all channeling into your one main website, the main hub. So yeah, definitely, I think that's a really, really good idea. Matt, got PSO last November, been struggling to find some locations for flying. Yeah, parks, fields. It's ideal if you do get landowners' permission. I think it's good practice as well. Once you've got it, you can generally get it really, really quickly after that as well. What I would say is dog walking hours is a good one. I recommend this to everyone. So I normally go flying early or late at night, just those dusky hours, because there's not going to be many people, kids, or just generally people out and about. And you can get some really nice shots then. So just think sunrise, sunset, you get some really nice images as well. So if you haven't thought of that already, it's a good opportunity there, and do it before everyone wakes up as well. Mark Pardew, how do you work out what you charge? Yeah, huge question. Mark, what I would say is drop me an email. We can go into more detail. It really depends on what sector, what you're doing, what kit you have, the standard of kit, standard of data, there's a lot to think about, and I get that. I completely understand that. Generally, as a rule of thumb, I mentioned the testimonials, the case studies, and the reviews. That's a great way to get started. But after that, £200 is a rule of thumb. Don't leave the house unless you're going to get paid that. That might be for one job, or that might be for 4 different houses if you're working with estate agents. Gregory, yeah, very, very similar question. Again, that talking to people every Thursday, talk to people in the industry, have a little chat with them. Don't call people that are in your area, your territory, because that might rub people up the wrong way. But yeah, just call a few people, have a little Google search. At the end of the day, that might be your 20 calls for that day. Speak to people and see what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what sort of prices they're doing as well. Tom Martin, the qualification is internationally recognized. If you do move to different countries, you might just have to do a little test. For example, if you're flying in the Alps, if you're doing some skiing work, let's say, you might just have to do a slightly different test to what you're doing if you're down in Cannes, let's say. So yeah, it'll normally just be a little test that you do just to update and make sure you're aware of the local laws. Liam Shirok, 100%. Yeah. So is it wise to start keeping flight hours logbook, even if it's a hobby flying at present? 100%. Log everything down. Batteries, which batteries did you use? How long did you use it for? Where did you use it? Yeah, that's really, really good practice. We definitely recommend that. Okay, so Steve, how many questions we got left? Okay, we're nearly there. We're nearly there, guys. Which of the drone packages are most stable, controllable in windy weather? You'd be surprised now. The Parrot Nafi is the smallest of the 3, and that fights the wind like you don't know what. Most drones are very, very powerful, and they can go like 60, 70 kilometers per hour. The Inspire is the best for high speed, but generally, most drones are fine in windy weather. The higher up you go, the windier it gets. But you actually do want, sorry, Jim just made me laugh with that, feeling in love with the Parrot. It's true. I've got a soft spot for it. But the higher up you go, the more windier it is. You want a bit of weight just to stable yourself. So the Mavic Mini, the Mavic Air 2, good little drones. I do like them. I've not flown the Mavic Air 2, but because they're so light, they will get knocked around a lot, especially when it's gusty. And that's the problem. When it's gusty, that's when you get the little tweaks. There's not a lot you can do about that. Steve, drop me an email. I'll go into more detail in terms of best drones, because it depends on industry as well. Because if you're working with buildings, you can get different gusts. You can get like channels of wind. It depends. It depends on what you're working with, Steve. But generally, most larger drones, enterprise up, are really, really good with dealing with wind now. Philip Dagnan asking about CE marks, Parrot and DJI drones. Yeah, really good question. We're expecting some changes on that. So yeah, it's a really big topic at the moment. I would say, I think I'll get some more feedback off Dan, our head of training, for that one, but we're expecting an update on this as well. So I understand where you're coming from about this, but I don't think that should be a reason for you to not get a drone now and get some work in, essentially. Jimmy, does the furlough 20% discount hit the business starter packages? It doesn't, but Jeff, thank you very much. It doesn't, but the business starter packages are already discounted. So you're looking at about a £300-400 discount for those business starter packages. If you're looking to go ahead, like I say, we've got that UAV course, which is going to be of huge, huge value, and understanding data sets, processing, and language as well, getting into the industry. So I'd look at that. But again, Jimmy, drop me an email. We can go into more detail on that one. Magnus, if you email me, I think I'm pretty free for the rest of the day, so I'll see what I can do and get in touch. But we should get something sorted by the end of the week. And in terms of stock, I know we've got all the stock in for the drones as well, so we should be able to get something sent out for the weekend, possibly. Nick Evans, are there any drones designed for the marine environment, including accidental immersion? Yes. Yes, there are. There's quite a few new drones that are coming out that you can actually dip in the water as well. I've not flown any of them, but the Matrice 300 is a fantastic drone to use for this because it's got a really high IP rating. I'm not saying dunk it in the water because it's too expensive for that, but Jeff Matthews, who was on the webinar, he's looking at doing some inspection on offshore. So if there is any sea spray, it just means that the drone's going to cope with it. It's going to be absolutely fine. So yes, there are options out there, but at the end of the day, do you want to be risking putting your drone in the water? It's an investment at the end of the day. If you get a nice car, I wouldn't want to put it in the water. But yeah, Nick, maybe give me a shout on that one. We can go into a bit more detail. Okay, so Jimmy, the operations manual is kind of like your drone Bible. What are you going to be doing with your drone? How are you going to be doing it? Where are you going to be doing it? What is your business plan? So it's a little bit like your business plan. We'll give you the template it's like a really big table. You just delete the examples that we give you and give us that data back that you intend to do. It is a complicated bit. It's arguably one of the hardest parts of the course, but we help you through it anyway. We'll hold your hand. We've got a designated team, a review team to help you through this process. So don't worry, we're here to help you on that one. Stan, yes, we will be sending out a recording for everyone. I'm nearly done with the questions. Use of a drone in security, yes, Lee, massively. We're saying a really, really large incline in this. So yeah, 100%. And maybe chat with Sam Denif, one of the Copters team. Would be a really good chat for yourself. Thinking about broader costs of running a drone business, presume some decent computer kit is necessary in order to store, process inventory you collect. Yes. Andy, you want to be looking at an IP, like an i7 processor. You just want a high standard of processing. My computer is, we can hear it all the time, to say the least. And when I'm doing any 3D rendering, I'm pretty sure it's kicking out some serious smoke, but it still does the job. So when we're getting into the industry, if you can save money and put it into other areas, then that's fantastic, instead of just spending money for the sake of it. So yes, a good computer will always help. And depending on what role and data you're capturing, you might not have to put too much money into it. But yeah, so if you've got an i5, that'll be really, really good. That'll still be fine. Yeah, so I think if you can push up and you have the option, maybe when you get that return on investment, you can take that jump. But for the time being, that'll be absolutely fine. But yeah, drop me a message, Andy, in terms of what work you do and what sector, and I can give you some different laptops to have a look at. Best course for photography and film industry for Boudica. So this would be we've got a UAV specialist, Jonathan Sharp. So he works in marketing, film, and he is our specialist in that. So I'm pretty sure we do an introduction every other 3 months. So we should have one soon. Okay, so yeah, I'd say drop me a message and I'll find out when the next course is for you. Must have software. Okay, so Ben Payne, in terms of software, as I was just saying to Andy, if you don't have to spend the money, don't. Simple as. So to start with, Windows Media, you can edit in that. And same for whatever software your computer wants to open up a file in, you can normally edit in that. So to get started, if you don't have the budget or the money to spend straight away, don't. And don't worry about that. Don't feel too stressed about it. A lot of the time when you're working in the industry, you'll be working to a brief. There'll be someone who's better than you who can actually process the data, who you're working for. So yeah, don't worry about that too much. But if you have the option, Photoshop for stills, Final Cut Pro for video, they're my preferences. That's what I prefer. And then also Also, the like Ava is amazing for inspection. Pix 4D for 3D is very simple. But yeah, in terms of software, you don't always have to spend money to get a really good finished piece. But yeah, they're my preferences. Ben Marion. Yes, so the Jamie 20, it should be until Friday night. I've asked for it to be extended till next Friday, but I can't confirm that yet. So I would say if you're interested, I really would just get it booked and we can look at it later and we can go from there. Mark Pardew, has the PFCO template changed to the new regulations? No, but there is a module in there for the new regulations. So they're always being tweaked anyway. We have meetings with the CAA every other month just to see what's going on. So our course is constantly changing, if that makes sense. So we also do have a chat. Sorry, we have a module. I think it's module 13 on the online course, which is all about the new regulations, and that'll give you a really detailed overview of the course. So yeah, that should give you a really nice insight to the future of the drones. Okay, so I've gone over a bit, but I hope that has answered all your questions. If you do have any more questions, I'll give you a call. We can go from there. I hope this is helps you all. I think I recognize a few names on there, so it's really nice to see you. Just give me a shout if you need anything. Like I say, I'll let's have a look. Where's my email? Yeah, so my email's there. If you want a one-to-one session, so like I say, that might be Zoom, that might be Teams. It might not be myself. It might be an industry expert from one of the different sectors, and I can set that up for you. If you're interested in any of the offers, do take advantage. I'm going to try and get them pushed back to next Friday, but I can't confirm that. Just give me a shout. If you do have any questions that I've not covered today, or you want that one-to-one session, drop me an email. We can go from there. I hope